Lightworkers, empaths, and starseeds, this message is for you. These are a couple points to be mindful of while you're out looking for guidance about messages, feelings, and experiences that you're having or doubting within yourself. One, if you're seeking guidance from someone who holds an answer that they're not showing you how to arrive at yourself or encouraging you to come at for yourself. They're not asking questions, but they hold a special kind of power in the situation. And in order to gain that knowledge requires your obedience or your adherence or your subscription or your buy-in to a certain person. For instance, in order to find the answer, the wisdom, and the guidance that you seek, do you have to rely on this person to do the work for you, or are they showing you how to do the work, how to arrive at the answer? If it relies on them to do the work for you, that's creating a situation where you're dependent upon them. Two is participation in what they're offering based in acceptance and inclusion, or is it based on rigid rules of how you're expected to be? And if you're not meeting those standards or living up to a certain way of being, then you are excluded, or you're made to feel like there's something wrong with you for not fitting into a certain mold. Three, this is a little bit of a tricky one. So let's just say that you're looking for some kind of confirmation or guidance or advice regarding some aspect in your life. And so you go out looking for someone that can give you some insight or some guidance in regards to this particular situation. So in a way, you're giving consent to a person for providing you some type of feedback. So you make this connection and you find this advice was helpful, and then you kind of buy in energetically to whatever it is that they're putting forward, and maybe little by little starting to trust this person, to rely on them a little bit more to provide you some form of insight. So it's like they're over time getting your buy-in, energetic buy-in. And maybe even they start giving it to you without asking. These are all things to watch out for. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad or it's something to be avoided, but it's just good to check, what are you giving consent to? Sometimes people who are in positions of power are dependent upon that approval to be needed, to be valued by others. So when they find that they have people who have valued the advice, the information, the work that they're putting forward, they start to get kind of dependent upon that approval. And it's good to check in to see if the person that you have started to trust and buy into is someone who is doing it because they genuinely and authentically care about your well-being and it's about you and your growth, or are they dependent upon you for their sense of well-being? It's a very subtle little differentiation. And if you check in, you'll know whether that person is truly for your highest good and your well-being, or whether they are dependent upon you for their well-being. So that's it. Just a couple of little tips and something to be aware of when you're out searching for guidance and advice and feedback. There's a lot of wonderful information out there, but it is really important to tune in. And first and foremost, anybody can give you information, feedback, and advice, but ultimately the truth lives within you. And the most beautiful guidance we can receive from someone is to learn how to trust and find the inherent truth that lives within us, to where we can learn to depend upon ourselves, know that source truth. We can still trust others, they can still provide valuable feedback, but it has to come from a place of being embodied, wholly present in the self, knowing that we're a divine, sovereign, sacred being, whole and complete. And from there, then whatever guidance, advice, and feedback we get just supports and creates alternative perspectives and dialogue for what we're already knowing to be true. We remain open to learn, we're not closed off from it, but our whole sense of being is not dependent upon another's perspective. Very subtle differentiation. Hopefully, if you think about that, it will provide you just a little bit of insight, a way to think about some things that perhaps you may or may not have been thinking about before. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take awesome care of yourself. Thank you.